I'm Eileen Holland, the author of Sophie Trophy, and this newly released sequel, Sophie Trophy 2. In Chapter 1, as the class walks into school, Geordie teases Sophie for being bad at balancing. Unlike him, Sophie decides to prove that he's wrong. Behind her, Geordie was still bragging about his balancing skills. Sophie stopped in the cloakroom and twirled to face him, with a banana hooked over her nose. She waited for Geordie to freak out. Nothing. No one else noticed either. Several kids breezed by to hang up their coats. The rest bunched up like grapes at the door. "Who's that?" someone asked. A tall, blonde girl stood beside Miss Ruby. She was wearing a yellow ski jacket and abominable snowman white boots. The girl looked at Sophie and her nose banana and laughed. Sophie took the banana off her nose. Is she laughing because nose bananas are funny? Or is she making fun of me? The girl said something to the kids hanging up their coats. They all chuckled. I was too shy to joke with anyone on my first day here, Sophie thought. Too scared. The not shy, not scared girl gazed at Sophie again. Cheeks burning, Sophie slipped the banana behind her back, slowly, without breathing. When it was out of sight, she formed a tiny hole between her lips to suck in air and lifted her chin high so she wouldn't look embarrassed. Her stomach felt like a brick was doing cartwheels in it. "This is our new student, Haley," Miss Ruby said. "Please make her feel welcome." Miss Ruby glanced at the class. "She'll need friends." Sophie crammed her banana into her lunch bag. Haley isn't going to be friends with a banana balancing clown. What I was doing wasn't even funny. A grin jumped to her lips. Well, maybe a bit funny. Miss Ruby smiled. "Once you're all seated, I have another surprise." Another one? Sophie speed-walked to her seat. Where was Haley sitting? There she was, one row over and 2 seats back. Sophie frowned. Haley was sitting next to Anoli, Sophie's best friend. Miss Ruby walked to the back of the class. Sophie heard metal rattling and bumping. She turned, full of curious girl feelings. Miss Ruby was lifting a box. With one foot raised on her chair, Sophie waited, watching her teacher walk up the aisle. Using superpower toe strength, she inched her body higher as Miss Ruby passed. She saw a flash of colors in the box. Geordie yelped from across the aisle. "Sophie peeked!" Oh no! Sophie lowered her toes until they lay pancake flat on her seat. Miss Ruby frowned. "Sophie, is it polite to steal a look?" "No, it isn't. Sorry." "Miss Ruby's mad at me." What about the new girl? Did she think Sophie was terrible for peeking? Sophie couldn't control herself. She had to look. Rising on her toes again, she leaned across to sneaky eye spy past Anoli. Haley stared back at her, giggling. Haley's giggling made Sophie's raised-up superpower toes weak and wobbly. She grabbed at her desk. Too late! She fell to the floor.